Guys riled up when it comes to giving you the actual spiritual side and the mental side of real estate investing. Kenneth is Thomas. Sister Living, you name it, he's done it all. I'm going to give you a couple of my, what I like to call my marketing strategies that I've used over the years, some of which you may have heard, some of which you may not have. I'm actually going to give you a business plan that I've created probably about 10 years ago, 15 years ago actually. And it was called the Goal Triage. And it's actual plan you can use. I'm going to show you how you're able to use it to generate $240,000 of income a year using various strategies and stuff. And that's going to be part of my presentation as well. I was looking to do a whole lot with this presentation today, guys. I had the computer at home working, internet up working. As soon as I get here, internet is acting all crappy, the computer's freezing up. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to go online, but I'm definitely going to be able to do the presentation. Are you ready? Ready. Are you ready? Yes. Okay, let's go through 5 hours of 5-figure paychecks. And now I'm locking up. What I'm going to do, I was going to do the actual plan for your business at the end of the presentation. I'll do that at the beginning. And then when this boosts back up, I'll go to the actual plan for the actual presentation. Now, this plan right here, I've actually created it probably about 10 years ago. And what it consists of is an actual blueprint for you to accomplish $240,000 in net revenue per year doing real estate deals. And to give you a little bit of history about myself. Didn't start off with the best intentions in life. I'll be the first to admit it. I dropped out in junior high school in 9th grade, so I got an 8th grade education. But that's never been a crutch for me when it comes to this business. I've been in this business for over 20-something years now, about 25 years now. When I first started trying to learn this business, there was nothing out there. All I had to go off of was infomercials late at night. Now, during the daytime, I had a hell of a job. I was a Kirby vacuum cleaner salesman. I was that guy going in Catonsville, knocking on doors, trying to sell a $1,600 vacuum cleaner. Now, if you can sell a $1,600 vacuum cleaner, you can sell anything. Now, unfortunately, I didn't sell one. But I realized something, that my lack of education meant that I had to do something else. I had to figure out a way to be successful in life. I had to figure out another plan, because my plan was not going back to school. My plan had to involve getting the type of revenue that I wanted to live off of. So the infomercials started coming on late at night. And then Mr. Carlton Sheets come on. How to buy houses with no money down. I bought his course not one time, not 2 times, but I bought it 3 times. And the 3rd time I actually opened it up. So it's sit on the shelf. Now, how many of you guys can experience the fact that you buy something from a guru or the speaker, and then after the workshop, the excitement goes down, and you just decide, what the heck did I try to do this thing? Why did I try to do this? And that's exactly what happened with me. But that 3rd time, I really applied myself. Because at that 3rd time, one of the things that course mentioned was, get with people who are in the know. Success has footprints. Follow those footprints. So I got myself a coach. Now, I didn't have much money, So what I did was trade my time with the ability to learn real estate investing. I quit selling Kirby vacuum cleaners. Now at the time I was living at home in the basement of my mom's house. And I had a visual plan on my wall that involved a Mitsubishi 3000 GT. And I said, when I make it, that car will be in my driveway. But I had to get there first. So I got with a coach, and he was, at that time, he was one of the most experienced investors, doing it left and right, deals after deals after deals after deals, each and every month. So I said, let me work for you for free. And I worked with him for 8 months. My salary was $50 a week in lunch for 8 whole months. That was my salary. And I was happy because now that I look back, after that 8 months was over, I had enough character, I had enough knowledge to go out and be dangerous, and I did my first real estate deal. And I've been a full-time investor ever since. My first real estate deal was $2,500. I remember it was like it is yesterday. And I had to split it with my partner. And it still proved to me that real estate works. Because for a lot of you here, real estate won't work until you get that first paycheck. And when you get that first paycheck, you'll realize this works. So, after that point in time, I've been blessed with the opportunity to create a lot of businesses. 2 of which was Win-Win Property Solutions and a company called Aspire America. And at that time, I was mentoring over 250 students here in Maryland. We were doing TV commercials, radio commercials, you name it, we were doing it. Kenneth Gills was one of my students. I've worked and had the opportunity to mentor, coach, and work with the people like Marcel Humphrey, Mark Whitten. The Secretary of Housing, Ray Skinner, was one of my students. And I've took that path to real estate as a way to grow. My biggest deal I ever done, commercial real estate deal in downtown Baltimore, was $3.5 million. There was a total of 31 buildings, had a total of 250 units. And this was a kid that had never even bought a commercial deal. Now we purchased that deal, it took us 1 year to close. The problem with that one deal, this is the good, the bad, and the ugly about the real deal. And that's what we try to get to you guys, the good, the bad, and the ugly. The only difference between doing a deal where you make $10,000 and a deal where you make $3 million is the zeros. But remember this, all that glitter is not gold. We had a couple of warnings when I purchased that deal. My job and my partnership was the guy that would negotiate and find the deals. My partner was the guy to go out and get the financing. So I found this deal down in Mount Vernon, 30 apartment buildings, 250 units. The guy was known as the #1 slumlord in Maryland. But that's okay, because we're bad. We can overcome that. There's such a thing called forced appreciation, where you can take any negative in a property and build it up to bring in a positive. So we just knew we was going to apply forced appreciation to these apartment buildings. There was a little hiccup. Mistake number 1, we should have known. And this is a lesson I've learned. If a seller wants to back out of a deal, let them back out. The seller of those apartment buildings wanted to back out because one of the people that was involved in the transactions, he didn't like, and he didn't like his reputation. So he said, no, we're not going to sell you these deals. So we sued him. The bad part is we won. But it cost us over $100,000 in legal fees to force this guy to sell us these properties so that we could be the biggest minority owners of real estate in downtown Baltimore. Now, move forward 5 years. Well, actually, it was 3.5 years. We're still evicting every tenant out of the properties. Because part of the plan with that project was to evict all the 250 tenants, rehab the buildings, and to bring back in new tenants systematically. problem was rehab took 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. And during the third year, I had a heart attack. I actually had a heart attack working that business. When I got out of the hospital, it was it for me. My comfort level was residential, but I just knew I could do commercial. It's no problem at all. So the first thing I did when I got out of the hospital was to sell my interest in those buildings. And I was happy. And I've been happy ever since. I never got back into commercial. I've been doing residential deals now. Like I said, for over 20 years. I've done several hundred deals. You name it, I've done it. And like I said, I've had the opportunity to work with, educate, and coach some of the most successful people in Maryland and around the country. Today, I do about 2 different presentations, probably 2 speaking engagements a month. I speak all around the country. I got 2 books published. So I'm very happy with my placement in life right now. And what I'm going to give you right now is a plan that you can implement. I want you to realize that you can substitute that $240 a year to $100 a year, to $80 a year, to whatever suits your needs when it comes to what you need to achieve in real estate investing. This is what I call my goal triage. It starts off with creating a square that has 4 levels of your goals. Those 4 levels is your daily activities, your weekly activities, your monthly activities, and your yearly goal. This plan is built around $240,000 a year as a successful real estate investor. It starts off with identifying what strategies, or should I say, what exit strategy type of investor you want to be. Young lady asked the question of how do you decide which strategy to do? Well, the easy answer is, Kenny touched upon it himself, was it's based on your financial needs. If you currently have bills that is just piling up and you need to get money influx in every month, then wholesaling is going to be that strategy. If you're looking to build a long-term wealth for your kids and generational income moving forward, then that strategy is going to be landlord, buying and holding. If that is not a need for influx of cash right now. But if you want to get big lump sums of income in a regular periodic manner, then that strategy is going to be rehab. So decide what strategy based on your lifestyle changes that you're doing to choose which strategy you should do. That's the easiest way to answer that question. What is your immediate need in your life? Next, you want to take that thought, and now you got to decide exactly which marketing plan you're going to implement. I always tell everyone we work with that you want to have at least 4 to 7 different marketing strategies each and every month. I'm going to say that again. 4 to 7 different marketing strategies. This plan is built around the strategies of probate investing, bandit and lease, Craigslist, driving for dollars, absentee owners, bankruptcies, code enforcement, and internet marketing. Those are the marketing strategies that build out this $240,000 a year income. Now, there's one little strategy up here that I've coined called bandit leasing. Not that many people is doing that strategy. You all know what bandit signs is and the issue that you have with bandit signs. What we're doing with bandit leasing is we're making arrangements with property owners and we're putting big banners on their buildings. And we're paying them either residual income off of a deal or we're paying them a monthly income to keep it on there. Why? I don't have to worry about any sign police. I'm dealing with owners of their properties. There's so many different vacant owners in this neighborhood, in Baltimore. Why worry about bandit signs? That's a strategy we've been doing for about 3 years now. So these are the marketing strategies that we're doing. If I go a little bit further into the probate strategy, there's a website called Pacer. No, I'm sorry. Correct that. For the probate strategy, I'm going down to the courthouse right at 300 North Calvert Street. And we're actually going in there and pulling the actual probate listings of individuals that have gone into probate that actually have real estate in their estates. And we're doing a marketing campaign based on that. The actual Craigslist strategy. That strategy is going after nothing more than for sale by owners. We're marketing directly to for sale by owners on Craigslist. And I'm going to go into further details as far as how we're doing it. Driving for dollars. My driving for dollars strategy is nothing more than driving around neighborhoods, but we've also added another touch to the driving for dollars strategies. The neighborhoods that we're driving around, we're putting flyers into people's doors. So we're looking for so many deals in various neighborhoods, but we're actually putting flyers in those neighborhood doors based on how much we love the areas. So
with the flyers, Baltimore City, I know that it's also illegal to do that.
Oh, it is.
What have you been doing to work around that or get around it?
My strategy for getting around it is a strategy is something called call tracking by Callfire in my favorite phone, my throwaway track phone. So I'm using call tracking from Callfire and my throwaway track phone. Now, let me give you the details of this. Callfire gives you a local number that you can use and tag up to whatever marketing strategies you use. So in other words, whatever strategy we do, we have a different telephone number for. Each strategy has their own telephone number. Callfire costs me $3 to get a number and $1 a month to rent it. So for $4 up front and $1 a month, I can have a telephone number that actually forwards to my main tracking phone. I'm able to tell each and every month how many deals came in from probate, how many deals came in from bandit, Craigslist, driving, absentee, bankruptcy, code enforcement, and internet, because I'm using tracking numbers going to my track phone. The other advantage of using Callfire tracking is that every time I pick up the phone and answer it, it tells me Craigslist, probate, bankruptcy. It actually has a feature called Whisper, and it tells you where the call came from, which marketing strategy you used. Now, the most important part of the strategy, because I use a lot of VAs in my business, is that I'm able to record the telephone conversation of both sides of the conversation that my VAs is having with the sellers that's coming through that system. Now, why do I want to do that? Because now I can see if my system is being operated properly. Are my VAs answering the phones properly? Are they saying the right words? Is everything working that the flow of my business should work? And if it's not, I can make corrections. All of that is built into the Callfire call tracking system. One more point. You can now have your business virtually anywhere around the country when you use that, because you can get a phone number, a local number, anywhere around the country, and it will forward to your phone. Any questions regarding this? Going back, like I said, we're driving for dollars. We're driving around the hot areas. Once I get to these hot areas, we're also putting in flyers in those neighborhood doors. The absentee owner strategy, very simple, very simple. All we're doing is making a list. There's one service that I want to recommend to you guys to use, and this is how you're able to pull your own list. It's called listsource.com. Listsource.com allows you to create what's called a targeted list, where you can decide exactly where you want to market at and so on. What I do with this, we create a demographic area. You can either do the whole state of Maryland, you can do zip codes, or you can do carrier routes. Well, the question you may ask, well, what is a carrier route? A carrier route is the postal route that your mail carriers will go when they're going down a block. I'll give you an example. Say Baltimore City has areas where it's one block to the next block could be just terrible. So you only want to market into those blocks that you know where there are great looking houses. That's where the carrier route strategy comes into play. So once you identify the neighborhoods you want to invest in, then you would go ahead and pull your absentee owners list from list source and take advantage of marketing to absentee owners with a yellow letter campaign. I've been doing yellow letters for over 15 years now. It's the most successful marketing direct mail campaign you can do. Let me say that again. The yellow letter will be the most successful direct mail marketing campaign you can do, by far. The average return rate, or the average what you would call click-through rate on a normal email campaign is between 0.5 and 2.5%. That's the average conversion rate that you can hope to get when you do normal direct mail marketing. And that's considered good. 0.5 to 2.5% is considered good. So for every 100 letters you put out, you're getting 2.5 leads out of it. That's considered good in the industry. With yellow letters, my average rate is between 15 and 19%. Now there is one variable. A large part of my direct mail campaign is going to targeted individuals, targeted lists. I also do shotgun, which is basically just putting up bandit signs and seeing what stick. But a lot of my marketing revolves around targeted lists. How many of you guys realize that an absentee owner list has two purposes? And what I mean by that, you realize what I'm talking about?
Fire themselves.
There you go. Very few people realize that an absentee owner's list not only gives you sellers, but buyers for your deals. When you pull a list from a company like ListSource, not only am I building up a seller's list, I'm building up a buyer's list, because when that list comes back, there's duplicate addresses. What I mean by duplicate addresses, I mean owners that own more than one property, because they're absentee owners. So what am I doing now? I'm going to market to those owners that own more than one property and let them know that I'm looking to sell them properties, deals. I'm going to give you the numbers of how you do this. This is huge. You're able to take that list of absentee owners, do a function in Excel called pivot table. That function will tell you where the absentee owners are doing the most buying at. So I can pivot that table and find out that 21206 has 46 absentee owners buying in there. 21214 has 32. 21206 only have 5. So now I'm dealing with the hot areas where investors are actually buying. Here's one key point. My absentee owners list when I'm using this strategy is only 3 months old. So I'm only searching for absentee owners in the last 3 months. Why? Because the average turnaround time for a rehab is about 3 months. 2 to 3 months is the average turnaround time, which means that absentee owner is now ready for a new project. That's huge. I told you, I got some stuff for you. Any questions regarding this? Let's go with you first. I'm saying what you said. I haven't used listability. It doesn't. I wouldn't say that the issue is the list company. The issue really is doing the strategy. So you could use a listability. You could use any other company that will allow you to make that search. Sorry.
For the absentee list for buyers, you said you're going back 3 months, you're only looking for people with multiples, and that's it, or you're just looking for anybody who's bought in the last 3 months?
Yeah, and I usually tailor that based on the areas that I like. So if I like 5 or 6 zip codes, I would do that. Or if I like a particular county, I would do that whole county, and then make my qualifications based on those results. Did I explain it right?
I was saying, are you looking for people who have multiple properties, and that's it? Or
Yes.
Anybody who's bought in the
No.
months?
Well, both. Remember,